I'm so excited. This game is so freaking good. Hey everyone, today we're talking about Entropy 02. Best Half-Life 2 mod I've ever played, so good it even rivals the original Half-Life 2 in my opinion. So let's get the basic, no spoiler review out of the way. For the story, the game explores the main character's motivations for working for the Combine, and I think it works. You also see a huge conflict from the Combine's perspective, which is actually super interesting. Most games I've played where you play on the bad guy's side are but this pulls it off, and reminds me that it is totally possible to do it well. The gameplay is great. You get a ton of new enemies, and even though your movements and stuff are very Half-Life 2, the new enemies make it a highly unique experience, and that's great. You also get a few new weapons too, and some unique environments. And there's a companion character that is simply amazing. So that's it for the spoiler-free discussion. Do I think you should play this game? Yes, absolutely, go play it right now. So let's get into the full review with lots of spoilers. The game starts off when Bad Cop, here known as Unit 3650, is working for civil protection. He has a reputation of being notably brutal, but he gets the job done. I love seeing civil protection from this side, and all the NPCs have something interesting to say. We overhear some cops talking about our backstory of being a prison guard whose wife died and then his child disappeared. With no leads, he got the blame, and he's still trying to use his perks from CP to find who really did it. The cops say they are going to mess with him in his progress towards that end, so he murders them all in a fit of rage. For that, he's assigned to Outland duty, which leads to the events of the first game. Then we wake up having been promoted from civil protection all the way up to elite, even skipping several ranks. But it turns out we get to keep our memories because the Combine think that'll make us more efficient for the job they have, which is capturing Dr. Mossman. But they say we're a copy, or a clone of the original. I'm still not sure if that's true. They say we're the last one, so maybe we are still the original. I'm not going to give a play-by-play of the entire game, but I'll go through the highlights. We start by waking up in what I assume is Nova Prospect, as it is overrun by antlions. We make our way through and finally get to a dropship to pick us up and take us to our destination to track down Mossman. We crash, because of course we do, in a rebel base. We make our way through and find ourselves in a place called Arbite Communications. There's one rebel leader in particular we'll hear a lot, and the voice acting is pretty good. All the voice acting is. Honestly, I'm impressed. 3650 himself, even with the heavy editing to make him sound more Combine, is amazing. There's one line in particular I'll talk about later. So the game really picks up when we encounter someone who says he is our clone, and that he's not the first copy they've sent on this mission. He explains that the Combine will never give us what we want, and will just keep stringing us along and using us forever. For some reason, 3650 doesn't believe them. I guess he's just holding on to the only hope he has of finding whoever took his daughter. We drop down a hole and find ourselves in an area that is quite clearly Aperture Science. Here we encounter some bizarre blue glowing substance that apparently Aperture was experimenting with. Turns out Arbite Communications was a front for Aperture Science. Once we escape that area and report that to the Combine, they send tons of reinforcements. They take this so seriously. It's awesome. But the best part, we find a defective turret named Wilson down here that helps us out a little and then requests to come with us. 3650 is an asshole and has the choice to leave him. But this amazes me that we actually can bring him with us for the rest of the game, of which there is a lot. And he gives us running commentary on all of it, complete with banter between the two of them. I mean, this is where all the character development is for 3650. There is so much work that went into making Wilson part of the game, and it's totally optional. This blows my mind, seriously. Wilson says if we can bring him to an upload station, we can install him as the master AI, and he would really appreciate that. But that won't come to fruition for a few hours of playtime. Until then, we have to lug him everywhere. Now, the rest of the game is mainly going from site to site of Arbite Communications with some brilliant set pieces and some decent small puzzles. There's a part where you get to drive a Combine APC, a huge battle in a compound, and a part where you defend a lodge from a full-on assault. Wilson can help you get into additional rooms, too. Sometimes he'll tell you when you can leave him somewhere and come back for him later, which I really appreciate because I was always so paranoid I was going to lose him. I kept thinking how silly we must look carrying him through battlefields. Well, the two really bond over this adventure of fighting rebels and your clone, but we finally make it to the end, and I have to pause here. I'm going to spoil the endgame, so if you haven't played it yet and you want to, go do it now. Waiting. Okay, endgame spoiler time. After some heavy battles, we finally have a boss fight with our clone where Wilson gets damaged. But we are right near the upload station to give him control of Arbite. But he succumbs to the damage and deactivates just before we get him in there. And then 3650 says it.
We made it, buddy. I'm gonna have to leave you here now. So long, and thanks.
God, how did that actor do that? It was perfect. I'm not afraid to admit I teared up here.
We made it, buddy.
Well, we finally come to the Borealis, and... Okay, when I first played this, I had some thoughts. I didn't care for what the secret was inside the Borealis, but on my second playthrough, it's grown on me. Second, I didn't like that we destroyed the Borealis, because when Half-Life 3 comes, it would probably invalidate all of this, which is depressing because it's so good. Now I'm thinking there are ways they can make it work, but they would need to canonize Entropy 0. I hope they do. Well, we end with a final boss fight against an advisor, and it's honestly really great. So when I first played this a few months ago, there was a scene after that advisor fight where we meet some Vortigaunts who are willing to accept us now that we're not the Combine's dog anymore. But I couldn't get it to trigger this time, so I don't know if that's a bug or if they outright removed it, but I liked it. Then we meet the G-Man. This is terrific. I love the way they paint the G-Man here. He presents us with an offer of some kind of favor from him. I love otherworldly entities that offer deals but have their own secret agenda. And even better when they hold up their end. This whole scene is really well done, especially the part where he turns as if he's noticing something that 3650 can't perceive. So cool, so good. Thank you to everyone who brought this game to life. I am amazed by you. And we get a kicker at the end, making me hopeful for another sequel. So, yeah. So here's where I'll wrap things up. I hope you all enjoyed. Don't forget to comment and like. I'll see you later.